What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Angry Mac Adventures. Behind me is the budget dinghy build. We had $4,000 to get something together, reliable, cosmetically sound, so my friend here, Ben, can go and do some offshore diving. So guys, welcome to the budget dinghy build. Stop it there, mate. Well guys, here it is. It is Ben. So he wanted to find something that wasn't so small to take out. We found this, which literally is perfect for what Ben wants to do. He wants to bring it out to that 2 to 3 mile mark so he can go spearing, go fishing, something that's comfortable and is going to get him there, and of course reliable as well. So guys, we picked this up for under 3.5 grand, and look, it's got everything he needs. We're going to give it a paint job. We're going to paint under the hull, fix a few things on the trailer, and get it looking spick and span. There's a few wiring issues that we're going to fix up and just give it a general clean up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the whole boat and show you guys the build. We've got ourselves a 4-meter Savage, which is on a John Pappas trailer, and of course it's got the beautiful 30 horsepower Daihatsu. Awesome, reliable little 2-stroke. The old guy that had it before, Ben, actually put some reverse forward controls and a steering wheel in the front here on this center console, so it makes it nice and easy to remove her, and Ben doesn't have to have a sore back when he's using the tiller at the back here. It also comes with a brand new Lowrance hooker sounder, so it's a GPS and sounder, as well as these stabilizers. So it comes with the John Pappas trailer. The trailer is actually in not bad condition. It looks like it's been galvanized or even painted. We're going to fix up a few of the welds because the old guy definitely didn't use gas in that, so we'll fix that up. The tail lights did work, but I think we just got to put a new plug on it. Coming around the front here, we've got a couple of seats, so some more seating. This guy here, he was pretty creative actually, so he put this on a bit of plywood so it makes it as a bit of a slider. The center console here has your forward and reverse controls. It's got your steering wheel and a little spot up there for your drink and your echo sounder. Coming in here, he had the car battery sitting in here for his bilge pump. So it's got a nice bilge pump sitting on the back here. You got your 10 or 15 litre Jerry sitting on the back, as well as all the wiring for the UHF that's not there. And some wiring, I think, for the lights. Has it got navigation lights? No. Oh, sorry, the aerial.
Bilge pump and the
aerial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So coming at the front here, they created like a bit of a storage unit for underneath here. So that's where he's holding all his anchors. And coming around the front, it's painted in this beautiful red with the white on the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start pulling everything out, giving it a nice sand, new paint job. But guys, that's the build. I've got heaps of stuff from my build left over. So I've got some seats, I've got some wiring there, if Ben wants it or not. And we're just going to make this thing a little budget build. So guys, stick around, it's going to be bloody awesome. So we're just going to start by stripping the whole dinghy, pulling everything apart and laying everything on the floor and work out what we've got. All the screws that were used from the previous owner weren't stainless, so we'll replace all those to make sure that we get the maximum life out of this little dinghy. Because we only had a couple of days to complete this boat, we decided to keep the center console intact with the outboard because all the controls were working as they should. So what we're using is just air sander with some 320 grit sandpaper, and gonna remove all that old paint. So it looks like he's just painted over that smooth surface, so we're just going to sand it all down, get it all nice and scuffed up, and then we're just going to hit it with some etch is somewhere. I think you've got it. Yeah, we'll just give it a quick etch primer and then start spraying it with just that nice white that we've got. Let's do it. Yeah, so that sander didn't last too long. It was not getting rid of that paint, so we decided to switch over to the wire brush on the angle grinder, and so much better. you can see how gross and tight this paint was. It definitely needed some assistance. I'm just going to start welding up. You can see where this guy has yeah, just used a shit welder or one with no gas. So we're just going to clean this up a bit just so the guards stay on both sides. It's just looking a bit trash. So we'll weld these up and let the build continue. There wasn't too much welding to be done, just a few little clean-up welds, but after Ben sanded that all down, it was time to prep it with a bit of etch primer after giving it a hit with some wax and grease remover. We have just hit it with a bit of primer after the wire brush, and of course keeping that budget makeover. I've got myself some white paint that I had in the shed. It's just an automotive, just a basic white actually. So it's just a 2-pack. You mix that with 4:1 with some hardener. I've just got it in a bottle at the moment. You mix that up with a bit of thinners, get that right consistency, and then we're just using this little gravity fed spray gun and give it a few coats, so it should turn out really nice. Use a bit of compressed air. Let's get this done. What I tend to do is put the hardener in with the paint, and I mix that up before I add the thinners, so I know that that's the right consistency. And then once I put the thinners in, I can get that right texture. But that there, it's just a little bit thick for my liking. So what I'll do, so I'll just add a bit of Gatorade, bit of thinners. There we go. Just so we can thin out that paint a little bit. Yeah, that's heaps better. Well, make sure our safety gear's on. Alrighty guys, we've got the air compressor on, let's start painting. So this little gravity fed spray gun was all I had, guys, so it definitely took a lot longer than normal, but we ended up finding a different spray gun for the sides of the boat, which is later on in the build. But being a budget dinghy build, you use what you got and it got the job done. Now I am definitely not a professional spray painter, but it turned out not too bad, especially being a little backyard paint job. So that was it for day one. We waited for the paint to dry so we can then put the boat back on the trailer and get the sides all prepped up. The boat was actually really heavy considering, so we ended up using a little trolley jack to give us a hand to move it around and get this thing back on the trailer. On the trailer, I fixed all the dodgy little welds there. We kind of cleaned them up, welded them up and put some silicone over it just to make it look nicer. Obviously when things are already galvanized, it's really hard to get a nice weld on it. You know, the time you grind it all back and stuff like that, it's not really worth it. You can spend hours on this thing, but underneath is looking sensational. Look at that. We also put a new trailer plug on there because someone ripped it off.
Well, it was you.
Other than that, what we're going to do is we're going to start prepping the sides and getting that ready for paint, and then we can start the fit out. That floor is not going anywhere. It's sitting a lot more square than what it was before. We ended up getting some zinc angle from Bunnings and screwed it in to the bench seats, and that is very solid for the console. We're going to get Stano, but this guy's on a budget, so they're about $20 each for Stano, and these were like $4 for $4 or something.
Yeah, something like
so that's a lot more solid than it was before. Now Ben has got the opportunity to sand the red. You ready for that?
I guarantee something else will break before those brackets anyway, so I think they'll...
No, they're fine. Nice, mate. Dinghy. Dingy on a budget. Just a light scuff, just like Ben's doing now, which is absolutely perfect. We'll give it a wipe down and paint straight over. Ben loved the fire engine red colour, so we ended up sticking with that. I had some paint in the shed from a previous project, so we ended up spraying it back red. It turned out really nicely. We ended up using the gravity fed spray gun at the start, but I found a better spray gun at the end, and it was so much better. That thing was a bucket, so we got a big bertha. Look at this. Now, if you guys haven't painted that much, 2-pack goes absolutely everywhere, so make sure you mask everything up that you don't want overspray on. Now, a good thing about in your hardener, depending on which one you choose, the paint dries fairly quickly. So that night we waited a few hours, had some dinner, and started putting it all back together, installing the outboard, center console, and everything with it. Now, keeping the center console intact with the outboard made it so much easier for an installation. It was pretty much a bolt-in. Yeah, push it wherever you want. We've just mounted the outboard back where it should be. Looks so good with the new paint. Now we're just lining up and making sure that Ben feels comfortable where the console is going to sit when he's sitting down. So before, the front of that used to sit about here. So we've pushed it back about 10 centimeters. We just got 2 bolts that we got to get from the shop so we can bolt the outboard to the actual dinghy itself. The guy used these, which is just, I don't even know what they are. Yeah, no good. Throw that in the bin. Beautiful. I reckon just one more here, somewhere about there, and that will just secure everything, stop everything from bouncing around as well. Alright, so we've got to fill up the balloons. Apparently it's only supposed to be as much as your mouth can handle, so we'll just pump them up with the compressor until they're nice and soft, and they actually deflate and inflate with the sun. So they're actually a really cool design and they work really well. So Ben, we've got that side on. Lovely.
I've got a mouth, mate.
On, oh, hello. Well guys, it's day 3 of the build. All the cosmetics are now done. Today we're going to be doing all the accessories inside the console. We've got ourselves a battery box. We're going to permanently install the battery. We're going to put a couple of accessories on here so you can charge his GoPro, his iPhone, and a few other bits and pieces. And of course we've got an isolator as well, so we can isolate that battery. It's almost done. It's almost ready to catch fish. So here she is. This is the stuff they're going to be installing today. So that's just the electrical box, but we've got the hook reveal that come with the boat that we're going to hook up today. We've got some storage holder racks for the rods, a battery box for that battery. We've got some synthetic winch rope because the rope on there at the moment is just it's just junk. We've got a nice battery isolator switch so we can isolate that battery, as well as a flush mount socket for your dual USBs so you can charge your phone, GoPros and stuff like that. First thing today is installing the synthetic rope. Righty, so on the end of the cable you got yourself this bolt here. It just keeps it in place so you don't lose your rope. You can see this stuff here. This is the 5mm diameter, so it's rated up to 900 kilos. Which is perfect for this little tinny. So that's the stuff there, nice and strong, and it looks good as well. Coil up the rope like a winch in a car, so just makes it easier when you're releasing the rope. It doesn't get tangled up on itself and bind it up. I'm just creating that cable that runs from the battery to the isolator switch. You generally want a thicker gauge wire, because you are bringing all those volts or that current through just this one cable. So basically this turns on and off all that power going through the battery to all your accessories. This isolates everything so your battery doesn't go flat. The battery is now installed. That's basically where the previous owner had it, and then he had like this parcel shelf made up to sit on top, so you can use this for storage. So we've used what he had, basically just routed all the wiring down to the back of the battery box, and then I'll put it into an isolator switch, which is under this parcel shelf. You just lift up and turn off. This is probably the best place we could have installed it. The bilge pump is here. You've got now some dual batteries, so he can charge his phone, GoPros and stuff like that. That's just a waterproof mount. We've also installed a plug to the battery, so you don't have to keep pulling this out to charge it. You simply just charge the battery charger straight in, which is nice and easy. You can leave that all in and you're not stuffing around, taking it out, putting it back in. We're basically ready to take this thing out for its first maiden voyage. Not bad. Well guys, here it is, the budget dinghy build. Considering we only had a couple of days to get this all sorted prior to Ben leaving up north, I think it actually turned out pretty well. With only a couple of $100 to spare to finish off this, it turned out really nice. So guys, the 4-meter dinghy, we ended up giving it a full paint job. Ben wanted to keep that red, so I found some red in the shed and it actually turned out really nicely. A contrast between the red and the white really separates this boat from the rest. On the sides here, we ended up just putting the stabilizers back on it. These work really well. We ended up testing this boat. It's a game changer, especially for these little dinghies. They balance so well. We ended up leaving all the center console installed, but what we've done here is we've just reinforced it with some angle. Considering the budget, it works perfectly. We secured the floor with a couple more angle pieces, so that's nice and solid, and the console is not moving around as much. So not too bad there. We ended up putting all the marine carpet back in, giving it a full clean, and wiring and neatening up all the wires as well. Coming to the back of the boat, not much has actually changed here. I'll show you guys what it actually looks like underneath the cover here. You guys will be pretty impressed. It is very clean. It's a 2006 30 horsepower, so it's coming on 15 years old, and it looks really clean in there. So the guy who had it before us just spent a couple of $100 servicing it all. That was just one thing we didn't have to do. How do you put this thing on? Oh, hang on. Got the pulley. We'll work it out. Hold up.
Don't cut this.
Got it. Oh no. Oh yeah, we got it. Oh no, it's not on properly. Oh, there we go.
Champion.
We're on. Well, there it is. So not much happening in the back, but as you can see here, we really cleaned up all the wiring, and that's a lot neater than how it was. So the wiring is really nice. I'm happy with that. We kind of left it in the same position as he did. We're trying to work out how to run it underneath, but if Ben ever has a problem, it's a lot easier having it here than underneath, trying to rip everything up, especially if he's out sea. So for him, it's perfect. Now, coming to the center of the console, we actually did quite a bit of work here. We ended up getting all the bilge pump working and installing a permanent mounted battery box. So that there, he does not have to touch. We ended up installing an external wire so he can plug it in with his battery charger, so that does not have to move. We also got a USB port here on the side so he can charge his phones, GoPros, cameras, etc. Which is nice and neat, sitting on the console there. And we've also got spare wiring for when he wants to hook up his UHF, which is already mounted here. So we've also got the fire extinguisher. That's just the old fire extinguisher out of my boat. I'll just let Ben hook that up wherever he wants to a little bit later down the track. But as for all the seats and stuff like that, we ended up keeping this mounting system that the previous owner had, because it actually works. It works good. But if Ben ever wants to change it and put some bench seats in later on, it's quite easy. It's just as simple as just taking these bolts off, pulling this off and putting the bench seats. So he ended up using the exact same seat that was in there prior. So the previous owner just had a little bit of wood holding it all together, but he'll probably end up putting a bench seat. It might be a little bit easier for removability around the boat. Is that the word? Yeah. But for now, that works great, and especially the time we have. He's actually leaving tomorrow, so we ran out of time, but hey, we got it back together and it's running. So up the front here, we left the similar design that the previous owner had. It's just a simple design that folds away and has all these anchors and ropes stored in the front here. I actually really like that. That's quite neat. And as for the trailer, we just gave it a bit of a tickle up. We put a brand new trailer plug on there because someone ripped it out. And so we got also brand new synthetic rope that's installed on the winch. So it's a lot better, especially when you're handling it with your hands. And just a few little bits and pieces, like we repacked and greased all the bearings. We put new caps on there, and I just cleaned up the welds that he had on the side of the trailer. But guys, other than that, that's the build. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start it and show you guys how nice this runs as well. And guys, if you actually want to see us head out when Ben gets back, we can go for a mission, maybe a Spiro. Well guys, that's it for the build. I hope you enjoyed it. We try to jam it all into one episode. So guys, if you want to see more things like this, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. We're keen to do it. So let's start this thing up, and Ben will be on his way. Mate, how many pulls you reckon?
3 pulls, mate.
Three?
Number.
Shit.
I'm confident.
No, I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go 2. So who's pulling?
I don't know.
Paper, scissors, rock?
Yeah, right.
All right, ready? On 3 or on rock?
Paper, scissors, rock.
Okay. Paper, scissors, rock.
Paper, scissors, rock. Paper, scissors, rock. Paper, scissors, rock.
Yes!
Fuck.
Yes! Got him.
Done me.
Alrighty. Chuck her in, mate. Let's put the tap on.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. You want to do the honours, mate? Bit of chokey. One.
Oh, thought about it.
Oh.
It's gone the 3rd one now.
Yeah. 5 pulls. Not bad. You were close up.
If I was pulling it, I think we'd be right.
I could have done one more pull on the choke, but it runs so good. We'll let it warm up, we'll give it a couple of revs, and we'll call that an episode. One pull. One little pull. Yeah, boy. Oh, well, there you have it, guys. This thing is ready. If you guys want to actually see some content of Ben's, let us know in the comments. We're always keen to put new, fresh content up on Angry Mac Adventures. But that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.